Yo, welcome to Wiz Loves Cars, and this is a Tesla Model X 90D. So today we're going to be talking about the 2016 Model X 90D with FSD. That's right, full self-driving capability. So we'll get a chance to take a look at that today. So we're going to do a complete walk around of the vehicle, and we're going to talk about the exterior. We're going to talk about the wheels. We're going to talk about the front and some of the upgraded modifications to that. We're going to talk about the Falcon Wing doors. We're going to talk about the trunk, and then we're going to talk about a lot of the cool features that are on the inside of this car as well. All right, so let's talk about what's under the hood. So what's under the hood is actually a frunk because it's an electric car, but let's talk about the battery for a second. So this battery actually is capable of 250 miles of range, puts out about 417 horsepower, does 0 to 60 in about 4.8 seconds, and has a top speed of 155 miles per hour. This car also has an air ride suspension, which I will show you later before we actually do the walk around, but it's pretty dope. You can raise and lower this car from the interior of the car. And it's going to give you that smooth ride, and it's going to make it feel like you're driving on clouds as you're driving around the neighborhood or if you're driving on the highway. All right, so one of the first things that we're going to talk about is the frunk and the space that you have in the frunk. And one thing that I really like about this frunk, what the owner did, is that they added a modification that allows this frunk to be more automatic. So it opens automatically and it closes automatically with the press of a button on the actual key fob. So this is the Tesla key fob for the Model X, and I'm going to open this frunk, and you'll be able to see the amount of space that you have in here and all the things you can potentially fit in here. So I'm going to just press that. You'll see that open. So you see we have shoes, we have book bags, there's a lawn chair in here, there's some Martinelli's apple juice, there's some Pluots, you know, so if you want to go on a little picnic, or you want to have a little self-care Sunday and go hang out, you got your lawn chair, you got your book bag, you got your shoes, you got whatever you need in here, and it's just a convenient place to store things that's really easy for you as you're moving about and going about your day. So I'm going to close this, and also one thing before this goes down that I want to mention is that there's also another space that's kind of tucked away in there in the actual frunk, where you can put things like vacuums or cleaning wipes or anything like that you need to basically clean or maintain your car. So it's also a good spot for that as well, really convenient, so you don't have to kind of mix it in with the contents of the trunk or store it inside the car, so you kind of have that additional space. So that's one thing that I really like about these frunks. Additionally, this larger space in here is much bigger than what you'll see in the Model S or the Model 3 or even the Model Y. So that's the advantage that you have as the owner of a Tesla Model X, to be able to have this additional space. Mind you, you still get it with the other models, but there's just more space in here. So one thing that I want to also mention before we kind of move around is just a couple things on the front. So on the front fascia here, you have the Tesla logo. You also have the air intake at the bottom to basically cool the battery that Tesla uses, as well as another piece of its functionality. You have the LED headlights, and then you also have this trim here that's pretty consistent. Even though this is the 2016 Tesla Model X, there's not really much difference between what you're going to see here in terms of the design on this hood versus what you're going to see with the newer Model X, such as the 2020 and the 2021s. So we'll actually move around here to the side and talk about the rims and a couple other things that I wanted to highlight. So here on the side of the car, we have the 20-inch chrome Tesla wheels, the Tesla calipers that are back there, and this is really nice, really good aesthetic to have. So this car is, again, that I mentioned, the 2016, so it has the chrome trim, it has the chrome rims. Those really complement each other, and all of these chrome accents that you'll see throughout the side of the car, especially on the door handle. So again, this car doesn't have the chrome delete, but with the chrome that's here right now, it all complements each other and it all works well together. Along the sides, you have the sensors, both on the doors, both on the side of the car. You also have the Falcon Wing doors here that are really dope as well. So I'm going to just press that really quickly, and you'll see that open up, and that exposes those nice white vegan leather porous seats that are in there, and that looks really nice. That's a nice aesthetic to have. It looks really nice. This black and white interior, it sets it off. All right, so as we move further back around the car, you'll start to see the spoiler here, the rear spoiler. You'll see the Model X badging here, the 90D badging. You'll see another Tesla logo, and you also see a Tesla emblem that's going across the back here. That looks really nice. And then as we walk around, there's still some more sensors here. There's some trim here at the bottom as well, but pretty standard Tesla lights, which you're going to see across the different models. And this Model X just has the added feature of this LED tail light that's there across the top. The next thing that we're going to do is we're actually going to talk about the trunk and what's inside and how much space we have back there. And we're not going to spend too much time here because, again, it's a trunk, right? So we don't really spend too much time of our lives here. So we'll talk about that for a little bit before moving on to the interior. All right, so here at the trunk, we're going to open this up and talk about the space that we have in here. So to open the trunk, there's two ways you can do it. So you can either use this key fob and double tap it twice. There's no actual buttons per se on here, but they actually have buttons on here, so it's really dope. Or you can basically just tap under here and then open it up that way, which is pretty standard across most cars. But for today's purposes, I'm going to just use these nice keys that I have in my hand here that I really like, and I'm going to open the trunk. All right, so there's a lot of space back here, even though it doesn't look like it, and I'm going to show you why. So here is an area that is some below deck storage, in a sense, where it kind of opens up. So you can either use this flat storage here on the top, or you can have this area down here where you can kind of tuck things away if you want to hide things that you don't want people to see, or you're going shopping or whatever the case is. You can kind of put a bunch of stuff down here. If you're not using that, you can kind of close this space back up and just kind of have this as a open space back here where you can, again, store, grocery bags or, laundry or whatever it is that you want to put back here. An additional feature that I really like about this Tesla Model X is the fact that the back seats also fold down, but they don't just fold down the conventional way that you would think of normal cars, right? So there's a button that's actually embedded into the vegan leather seat that you can't necessarily see. We'll cut to that so you'll be able to see that. But when I press that button, what's going to happen is this head is going to fold down, and the front seat that's directly in front of this seat is going to move forward a little bit to accommodate this seat folding down. So I'm going to demonstrate that really quickly. So I just pressed the button, it's moved down, and now I'm able to drop this seat down, and now I have some additional space. I'm going to do the same thing on the opposite side here, and I'm going to push this seat down. So now we have plenty of space back here. You can fit a couple people back here if you want to just sit down and hang out, or you can fit more things back here. So let's say you did a Costco run or whatever the case is, you got that big water and all of those different things, you can fit all of that back here. And then it also gives you a nice open view into the front of the car. You can see that nice big screen back there. You can see the captain chairs. You can see that vegan white leather interior. So that really looks good. And I'm going to close this now, and then we're going to actually go on the inside and talk a little bit more about that and some of the functionality there. All right, so one feature that's really dope as we're getting into this car is the fact that these doors automatically open. So I'm just going to tap on the key fob really quickly, and then this front door is going to open itself, and I'm going to just be able to hop inside. So, boom, door opens for me. I walk in. I sit in the car, I press the brake, and the door closes itself. Now, I will say this. The fact that I currently drive a BMW and I have a regular car, this makes me not want to drive my regular car. But I really like the thought that was put into that. This is something that maybe you don't think about in general, but once you have it, you're like, damn, I like this. And it's like it becomes the norm. But right now, that's not the norm for me. So I'm going to have to get this out of my head when I go back to driving my car. But other than that, I love that feature. Really dope. And we're going to be able to now get into some of the key features and functions on the inside that people really love about Teslas, and it's going to really tell you about the appeal that people have with Teslas and why people actually are starting to convert over to more EVs, and especially Tesla, just because of all the features and functionalities that come as a result of owning one of these vehicles. All right, so as we get inside this Model X, a lot of things to talk about. So first thing I want to mention is that the pedals in here have been completely changed out. So this does have the chrome performance pedals, so it gives it a nice look, a nice sporty feel to it. So that's really good. Another thing that this car has is the front screen. So a lot of the Teslas don't actually have a front screen in them. So if you think about the Model 3 and even the Model Y, they don't have that front screen. They only have this center console screen here, or this infotainment hub that's basically located here. Since this is a 2016 model, this does have the vertical screen that you see here. But before we get there, I want to kind of move the attention back over here. So in this front screen right here in this Model X, what you're able to see here is as the sensor picks up people, cars, traffic lights, all of those different things, you're able to see those things on the screen. You're also able to see your mileage range, your trip, your miles per hour, the time, the degrees, how much charge your car has right now, if the car is on or off. So all of these different things you're able to see on this front screen, and it gives you that nice feel of being in a somewhat standard car that you're used to, and you're able to see all of these things on your instrument cluster. So you have that advantage here as well too. So moving back over to this screen, so this screen has also been upgraded. So this is the MCU2 screen in this Tesla Model X. So what that means is that on the current 2016 models without the MCU2 upgrade, what's going to happen is you can't watch Netflix and YouTube and Hulu and basically take advantage of that entertainment piece. Outside of that, this screen is pretty much has the same standard controls that you see in any other Tesla. So all of your controls are going to be here. So if you want to open the Falcon Wing doors, you have the option to do so on the screen. If you want to close all of the doors at the same time, you can do that. You can open up the front, the trunk, so the passenger side door, your door, so you can do all of that here. There's also the autopilot settings, navigation, security functionality for Sentry mode and different things like that. So all of that can be done on this screen here. The only additional piece that you probably won't see on any of the other Tesla models is the option for suspension. So with suspension, you're able to adjust the ride height of the car. So you can basically, the car right now is at very high is 8.9 inches, at high is 8.3, at standard is 7.5. Right now the car is sitting at low, so it's basically sitting right above that tire. And then you can even move it to very low to give it more of that lower to the ground, stock, sporty look, and kind of have that look and feel to the car if you do decide to basically change the settings to that. So it's really more so at the person's discretion that's going to be driving this car as to what they want the ride height set at. So a couple of the things that I really want to note in this car are, the vents are all here. They look pretty nice. They have a good trim on there. This car also has this nice black ash trim that's kind of resonates throughout the car. So you'll see it actually on the side of the car by the door handles and against this vegan leather white trim, and it's kind of spanning all the way across the car, across the front end, all the way around the car. So it really looks nice. You also have this nice big panoramic windshield basically. This is really, really nice. You can really see everything. You can see the sun, you can see the sky. It basically lets a lot of light into the car. The only problem that I've heard is that with this kind of being so open, once the sun is really hot and it's really high in the sky, sometimes you get some of that heat transfer coming through. So it's really good to get a sunshade if you can, to kind of have that there. Additionally, there is a little shade that's built in. It's magnetic that you can use as well, and it folds down, so you kind of have that additional ability to block the sunlight coming in. And then there's another piece here that if you flip it down, you can have some access to that nice mirror with the lights on there, so you can see yourself. So really dope, really thoughtful in the way that Tesla did that, and it kind of just tucks away. So if you're not using it, you don't need to have it out. Some other things that I want to note, some modifications here. So in the stock 2016 Model X, what you'll see is there's an open compartment here that's more so a storage area that you can just kind of put whatever it is that you need there. But on Amazon, if you want to get a modification to this and actually have a pull-out drawer, you can do that. So if you want to keep mints or anything like that, you're able to do so. A few other bits of storage pieces down here. So you have this section down here that opens up, and there's some cup holders down here that you can take advantage of, and they're also adjustable as well, so that's pretty cool. Or if you want to just take those out completely, you can put a bunch of stuff down here and have that additional storage if you need it. So I'm going to just push that, and that closes automatically. There's also some additional cup holders up here, so if you slide the armrest back, it'll expose some cup holders here that you can also take advantage of as well too. But if you're not using those, you can literally just push this forward and it's all good. And then there's also some additional storage down here where you can, fit some smaller items, maybe a phone or something like that. But right now what's hooked up right here is actually a hard drive to store Sentry Mode videos. So that's something that comes in handy when you're using Sentry Mode and your car's going to be in a place you're going to maybe away from it for a while, or you want to just have it recording or whatever the case is. It's good to have a hard drive to store all of that video content on. One other thing is that one thing that's really different, so there's a couple buttons here that you don't typically normally see on Tesla. So here you have the hazard light button that you can press, and as you press that button, you'll see the hazard lights actually display on the actual screen here in front of you. So the main screen that I'm looking at now, you can see the lights blinking from the back all the way along the side of the car to the front of the car. So it gives you that visual picture of that happening, which is pretty cool. Additionally, the other button that I want to talk about really quickly is this one here on the right, which basically opens up the glove compartment. So you can press this button and it's going to open up that glove compartment for you, and then you can also just manually close it back. Now, if you look at any of the other newer Teslas, what you'll see is that this button is actually located as a part of the quick controls that are on the screen in terms of the opening and closing of that. So that's going to basically match with all of the other functionality that you'll see on the screen. And I know with a lot of the newer models as well, what Tesla's been doing is it's been moving more and more of all the controls for the car on the screen, which some people like it, some people don't like it. I think it's just more distracting to have all the things here on the screen, but that's just my personal opinion. But let me know what you think about this and these features that I just went over, as well as some of the new functionality that's coming out on some of the newer models. So yeah, let me know what you think. But other than that, I think this is pretty good so far, and we're gonna take it onto the back seat and talk about a few more features and functions back there. All right, so one thing that I want to mention before we actually hop back into the back seat here. So this car actually has sensors on the front and rear door. So what that means is that if you're ever parked in a tight space, so let's say you have maybe 12 inches of clearance between you and a person or you and the car, what's going to happen is the sensors on the outside of this car are going to notice that there's something within proximity to the car, and it's going to take that into account when opening the front door or when opening the rear door. So I'll just show you that really quickly before we actually hop in. I'm going to open up this rear Falcon Wing door, and you're going to see it sense me, and the door is not going to hit me as it opens. So it's opening more cautiously, more carefully, and then it's opening fully, and then it didn't touch me. It came close, but it's not going to hit me. Another thing that I want to touch on really quickly as we enter this car is that you will notice that this car has 6 seats. So there's 2 rear seats here that you're looking at right now that's in view of the camera, and there's also another 2 back seats here that you can see that may not be in view of the camera, but one cool thing is you have 2 ways of accessing that seat. You can either walk in here through the front and then walk back through this aisle that's kind of divided there between the 2 seats, or there's a button on the back of the seat here that you can actually press, and it's going to move that front seat up, it's going to move that back seat up, and it's going to tuck that back seat. So it's going to be easy for your passengers to kind of just hop in and get into the back seat. And then they'll be able to kind of push that, and we're in here. We're good. All right, so here in the back seat, we got plenty of room, plenty of clearance. These captain chairs are really dope. You have this nice black accent against this vegan leather, this white vegan leather, this porous leather, so it looks really nice. There's also a couple things that I want to note here as well too. So you actually have the button here that you can use to open and close this particular set of Falcon Wing doors on the left hand side here, and there's also another button that's located on top of the Falcon Wing doors on the side, on the outside, if you wanted to close those. So there's also some ventilation here for the passengers in the rear, so they're going to be completely comfortable back here. So you have one vent there. There's 2 here. There's 2 USB charging ports here. So if you have folks back here that need to charge devices or phones or whatever the case is, they can be able to do that. There's also another vent here, and there's also a button here that you can use to open and close the Falcon Wind doors, similar to what I just mentioned about on the other side. And then as you go back into the back seat here, into the 5th and 6th seat, there's also some more vents in the back here for those passengers, so they're also comfortable. They get a chance to experience that heat or that AC depending on where you live and what the climate is. Additionally, there's some more cup holders back here, and there's also another USB charging port that's embedded into the cup holder back here that the passengers back here that can take advantage of as well. And one thing that I almost missed just because you can't see it with the naked eye, but if I just press this, there are a couple cup holders that actually pop out, so that's really cool as well too. So you don't have to have those out if you aren't using them, right? You can always just kind of tuck those away. So pretty dope feature. Really nice runner back here as well too. Again, so it's really easy to access the seats. It's really easy to move from this set of seats to this set of seats to this set of seats. So I can move around back here pretty well, and it's kind of easy to get around, and you have a really nice view of the cockpit from back here as well too, as well as that nice panoramic windshield. So that looks really good from where I'm sitting. So enough about the inside of the car. Let's go ahead and take this thing on the road and let's drive. Let's do summon. Let's do full self-driving. Let's do all of that stuff. Let's do 0 to 60 and have all that fun. So we're about to go do that now and really give you a glimpse at what this car can actually do on the road and what all this Tesla technology is made of. All right, so now we are on the road. We're driving. Things feel good so far. The air ride suspension is really great. You can't feel too many bumps on the road. Oh my goodness. Oh man. So that was me testing out the 0 to 60. I didn't fully commit to it, but I just wanted to see how fast we'd be able to go. So I'm gonna do that again. Not in the parking lot though. Yeah, you can really feel like all the horsepower in this car instantaneously as soon as you press the throttle. I'll properly call it that. All right, full stop. $60. Oh man, yo, that shit felt like I was on a roller coaster.
I feel like it was on a plane. Yeah. Nah, that's a different feeling right there.
Yeah, that's definitely a different feeling. I like that.
Acceleration is crazy.
And this is your car. You get to do this every day.
Yeah. My favorite part is to pull up at a red light.
Oh yeah?
I'm in front and then just hit it. Everyone just starting to come and you're already off.
Yeah, this acceleration is dope.
The response time.
Yeah, the response time is crazy. Do it now. That's all I can say, brilliant. And now it's getting ready to, well, not this exit, but we'll be getting off soon on Matilda Avenue, so let's see what it does. Alright, so it's telling me to change lanes again, so I'm doing that. recognizes the red light, and we're stopping. All right, and you get a nice little message on the screen as well that says autopilot unable to proceed. So it knows that we're now back on just the normal roads. So it's time for me to take back over. It's done its job. It's gotten me here safely. I will say that it does take a great deal of trust, because just coming off that exit just now, not controlling the car myself, and you know, not having my hands on the wheel, so to speak, is a little nerve-wracking. But it's one of those things that, again, it's a muscle that you work. So as this technology improves and improves, people will be a lot more comfortable with that. And we were talking about it earlier. Our kids might not even need driver's licenses with this technology and where it is right now and where it may be in the next 10, 15, 20 years. So that'll be cool. That'll get rid of all the folks on the road that can't drive. If the cars just drive themselves, if something happens, we just blame it on the machines. All right, so since this Tesla Model X also has FSD, it also comes with Summon. So I'm gonna click on Summon, and within that, you're gonna have the option of Smart Summon. And Smart Summon, what that means is the car will actually come to your GPS location. It'll basically pull up to wherever you are. Other than that, just regular Summon is just moving the car forward or backward out of a parking space, or maybe in just regular space, or whatever the case is. But I'm gonna go ahead and hit Smart Summon, and you'll start to see a map here that's going to be displayed on the phone, and it's going to hone in on where I am versus where the car is. And then to get the car to start moving towards my direction, I'm going to just press go to target, and I'm going to hold that, and then the car is going to leave wherever it is right now, and it's going to come to me. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to press that now, and let's see what happens. So as you can see, the car is now charting a path to get to me. So I'm going to continue to hold that down, and the car is just going to make its way over here. Thanks for rocking with me today. Thanks for watching this video. Appreciate all the love so far. Please don't hesitate to like, subscribe, tune in, hit the bell as well if you're rocking with this video, and that way we can influence the YouTube algorithm, so that way you can see more of my videos pop up as you're searching over YouTube and tuning in and looking at different car videos. So again, appreciate the love and support, and I'm off. Until next time.